Yo, what's happening, people? Thank you for pushing play on the Lions Roar vlog. This is Genesis Book 1, Chapter 46. And if you are seeing me for the first time, we're in the middle of a reading. So what you want to do is you can listen to this video, and then I just strongly urge you to hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell so you can know when new content comes out. I'm posting on Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Those are going to be my post days, regular post days on this vlog. Go catch up to where we are if you would like to know what's going on, because I'm about to just jump into it. All right, chapter 46. Then Adam and Eve began again to come into the cave. And when they came to the way between the fire, Satan blew into the fire like a whirlwind and made on Adam and Eve a burning coal fire, so that their bodies were singed and the coal fire scorched them. And from the burning of the fire, Adam and Eve cried aloud and said, O Lord, or O Most High, save us, leave us not to be consumed and plagued by this burning fire, neither require us for having transgressed thy commandment. Then the Most High looked upon their bodies, on which Satan had caused fire to burn, and God sent his angel that stayed the burning fire, but the wounds remained on their bodies. Okay, very interesting. Now, this is a time where I'm going to go ahead and say that I wonder if this fire is more spiritual. And as I read, you'll understand why I say that, because there's a time where the Spirit is going to relate this particular fire to something specific. And just even as we read through the books of Adam and Eve, we are finding that there are so many metaphorical instances, certain things where for instance, this fire, it could be like this big, extravagant, dramatic fire, and they're being singed and they're being burned. And then later on, you read that the fire is related to our state when we are separated from our higher functioning, or that higher spirit which pulls us to the higher functioning. You gotta always understand, like I always say, I ain't never seen no pitchfork, pointy head, like pointy-tailed horn, pitchfork wielding devil. I've never seen it. I've never seen no Hollywood demon before. I've never, and we got to be careful with these images that get created and put in front of us too. But I'm saying, me personally, I've never seen no, what they say a demon or a devil look like. I don't see that. I see foul humans. Do you understand? I see humans that do foul things. They are the devils and the demons. So, like I always maintain and say, if that is the case, where's God? Where's the Most High? Where's the spirit of the higher one? It would have to be manifest in a human as well too, right? And am I saying that humans are God himself? No. I'm saying that his spirit can manifest through the living being based on the decisions and the mindset and the meditations of the heart, and where the words are speaking and things of that nature. That's going to determine on what's showing up, the devil and the demons, or the Most High / angels. You understand? Angel being a higher being, okay? Demon being lower being. Devil being the energy that runs those lower beings. God, or the Most High, being the energy that runs those higher beings, if you understand, if you catch my drift. So I wonder, is this fire literally happening, Or was this a spiritual, was this a reference point to communicate to the future humans who were going to come across this information? This is the state that you're in when you're separated from your creator, from your higher source, from your more conscious, spiritual, enlightened, higher frequency, vibration, Holy Spirit, however you want to say it. This is, that's your source, right? So let's go ahead. And so God, or the Most High, said to Adam, the first man, see Satan's love for thee, who pretended, like I said, Satan, I don't know nothing about no Hollywood image. I don't know nothing about no Leonardo DiCaprio painted image. Not, I said Leonardo DiCaprio. Leonardo da Vinci, man. He's the artist. Wow. Okay. I don't know I don't know nothing about no demon, Satan, devil, Lucifer, as far as what these people then tried to say. I only know what them foul humans and that foul energy that the humans manifest and use. That's what I know as the devil. That's what I know as Satan. That's what I know as the dark one. You understand? So he says, see Satan's, or see the dark ones, see the dark spirit, see the dark energy, see the evil frequency. He says, you know, see that being's love for you, that spirit's love for you, that energy's love for you, that frequency's love for you, that low vibing one, that murderous one, that lying one, that deceptive one, that manipulative one, that destructive one, right? Satan. See his love for you, first man, Adam, first woman, Eve, who pretended to give you the Godhead and greatness. Because if you remember, the trick was, oh, I could make you like him. You don't need him. I can teach you how to be higher. I can tell you what to do to. And that's what they do, these demons and devils, little sweet nothings in people's ear, and have them out here tripping. That's what they do, devils. So he said, see Satan's love for thee, who pretended to give thee the Godhead and greatness. So he pretended to give you the higher state, what you thought he was going to be able to give you. Because why? What made you trust him? What made you think that he was the thing to follow when you knew who I was? You know, especially Adam, because remember, first man was here longer than the first woman was. You gotta understand that. You know, if they're saying that the female, you know, came from the man's rib, me personally, like I've always said, I think they were in a different state. I think what causes evolution itself, I believe the rib that the woman was pulled from, I believe that it was more so a thing of that, yeah, she came from within him and she came off of him and then she was another being. That's what science says. And when you read the science and you pay attention to it, it makes a lot of sense. Again, just as I've always said, and I maintain when I do these videos, and I'm very careful to know the people who know the scriptures and who would probably be lining or showing up for these videos, they would feel some type of way about you saying evolution might need to be looked at as it relates to the beginning in humans, because they have this mentality that if you believe in scientific evolution, then you can't possibly believe in the Most High. That's crazy, because science regularly helps us understand what we have going on here. So how do we ignore it when it comes down to something like the beginning of creation of the human beings and of the animals? And how do you ignore that? You cannot ignore that there were other beings on the planet before human beings walked on the planet. This is scientifically proven. How can that be? Because perhaps those other beings They came from the state that all the beings were in before the human did, and was walking upon the earth before the human was. And perhaps was you who I mean, I'm just saying, when you look at the facts and you look at the fact that humans came after, does that mean that humans were made after the animals? No. So they could have very well been in the water, all of them in a different state. Absolutely, because science says that's what happened. Now, does that take away from the creative, generative, intelligent, spiritual energy that we're saying, hey, this had to be present to make all this stuff happen? It does not. And it's outlandish to think that we have this complex, intricate body of work here. Nobody wants to break it down and bring the keys to unlock the potential and get to the power. I think that's crazy. Me personally, I think that's crazy. And even still, like, okay, look, support me right here. Like, I'm gonna even use a scripture from the books of Adam and Eve. About 10 chapters ago, you can go listen. It's all posted on the playlist. Adam and Eve, the books of Adam and Eve, book 1. It's all the entire book plus the introduction. About 10 chapters ago, the Most High told Adam, hey, remember, you were not always in this state because Adam was irritated because he's in this kind of wilderness away from the garden now. And he feels some type of way. So the spirit reminds him, he's like, Adam, you weren't always in this state. You should have never transgressed, bro. So I had to give you that skin that could now be hot and cold. That right there is a pure indicator of a body. But you have the Most High on record, like right in these scriptures, saying to Adam, I had to cover your real state with that fleshly skin, that covering. And so then like I always say, well, when you go back to the English and Genesis, which they did not write the scriptures, they only translated them. That's the first thing. But when you go back to Genesis and you deal with the fact that it talks about that one part where it says the spirit was walking through the garden, like the Most High was walking through the garden looking for the creation, looking for the humans, and they were hiding themselves because they found out they were naked. Okay, now here's what we gotta deal with. We know that the culture at large who got their hands on the King James version, we know that there was a lot of fabrications. We know that there was a lot of flip-flops. We know that there was a lot of discrepancies. We know that there's a lot of contradictions. We know that there's a lot of separations. We know this. So how is it that we don't deal with these things as it is now? Again, when you're dealing with the book of Genesis, it says, well, they were hiding themselves. And so then they went and took the fig leaves and they covered their body up because they didn't want their to be ashamed because of their nakedness. I always wondered about that. Like, huh? But then when you have the spirit here says to Adam, I had to give you that fleshly covering over your original state. Over your original state. I believe the original state had something more to do with the brain, the the nerve column and the spine, the nerves as they move through the body. If there's an image, maybe I'll try and post it on my YouTube and I'll like give a description, and it's 2 images. And so I have an image of a body without, or like of a human without anything but the nervous system. It's just all nerves, no tissue, no bone, no skin, no nothing. The eyes are attached to the brain, so the eyes are there. That's it. Okay. And I have another picture of a the immortal jellyfish, which the reason I have this picture is because when it's swimming and its body is, its tentacles are kind of spread out and they're kind of, flayed out, and it's certain ones that just kind of there, and then there's other parts that's kind of like out kind of gracefully. You can see the shape. You can see it. You can see where if you took that human body, the nervous system, without the bones, without the tissue, without the skin, and if it was in water, it would look something like that jellyfish being. Now, here's what you have to know about the jelly, because I love science. Here's what you have to know about the jellyfish. The jellyfish ain't evolved that much. The jellyfish has remained what it has been for so long. Like they are some of the oldest beings on the planet. They are some of the most unique beings on the planet. The electrical energy that they can send out. The fact that that immortal jellyfish can be 5 minutes from dying. Let's say it washes up the shore and it's about to die. If that immortal jellyfish makes it back into the water and it gets life again, it starts over from juvenile stage, even though its body has been here. And it could be they say them things could be here thousands of years, and it'll turn back around and regenerate and start all over again and be here for another 1,000. When you have beings like that on the planet, you really got to pay attention to what everything else on the planet is. These octopus, these cephalopods, the cephalopods in the water, because you got some land cephalopods, insects. But these cephalopods that are in the water, like the squids and the octopus and some of these other beings that are highly intelligent, and they're, they can change their texture and their color. They're even starting to say that they're learning that the octopus, and we learn more every day, every year, seemingly. Like now it's like technology is advancing so much. We are learning so much, and we're starting to be able to debunk and really get rid of all the lies and the deceptions and different things. But the octopus, they already believe and know that the octopus can read minds, can read frequencies of brain waves, and understand what, the energy that's coming off you in your brain. That's amazing. The octopus is already alien-like. The octopus can change colors. It can match texture, literally texture. It will raise its skin to match sharp textures, colors, brains all throughout all the tentacles, multiple brains. One main brain and then all these little brains just all throughout the body. Come on, man. So I say all that to say, sometimes when we're dealing with these things and you're reading and you're hearing this stuff, it's not always literal. It's not always literal. But I do truly believe that some of these things that happened, especially in the beginning, and especially closer to the humans moving into Homo erectus and coming into standing on both feet. Because you have to understand, humans weren't always standing on both feet. That's something else you got to understand. That's fact. So then when you think about that, it would make sense that if they came out of a different state and they had to learn better ways, or they were going to just eventually evolve and become what they were supposed to become anyway, then eventually they were going to be standing up. But it makes sense if they came up out that water that they were crawling first. And here's the other thing. The scriptures, while extremely intimate and intricate and detailed, and like you break them down, they're vague on some things. But then when you plug in science and it's like, oh, okay, but that makes sense. It's still, in my mind, I still don't put science over the Most High God. I just don't understand people that they can't make that separation. Like you I don't understand that. I just don't understand it. The people that's just like, oh, I don't want to have anything to do with that science. Oh, I'm just gonna believe in the scriptures. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want to do, you can do whatever you want to do. But me personally, it would be very foolish to ignore all of this wisdom and research and knowledge that we've obtained to help us understand our state. And then when you look at the scriptures, they support it, but just from like more a metaphorical, picturesque, parable driven sort of an angle. And so when you see it, it's just kind of impossible to deny. How can we deny it? This chapter is fairly short, and I know like I just did a lot of commentary. I'm gonna finish this chapter, and that's gonna be one video, and then I'm just gonna, because I prayed before this, and I had 2 chapters to do, but I'm not gonna do chapters here. I'm just gonna hurry up and finish this, and then this video gonna be done. So he says, see Satan's love for you, Adam. Who pretended to give you the Godhead, who pretended to give you my spirit, my power, my wisdom, my intelligence, my anointing, my understanding. Remember, they were worried about humans becoming like them. And they were like, look, we can't let them get to the tree of life, because let's say eat the tree of life. Now they already split in their minds. They eat the tree of life. It's going to be a problem. Could you imagine if humans live forever with some of the foul junk these humans do on the planet now, man? Like, it would be like hell forever. No, thank you. No, thank you. So it says you pretended to give you the Godhead and the greatness. That I can't get past it, because the Godhead and the greatness, man, like them low vibing spirits, that's what they always offer. They always got the best thing for you up front, and it go down so sweet, but it's bitter when it comes to the digestion. It's tearing your stomach up. You understand? Spiritually. So he said he pretended to give you what I am, the Godhead, what I could offer you, Godhead and greatness. And behold, he burns thee with fire and seeks to destroy you from off the earth. Okay? He puts you in intense. Fire is very painful and intense and powerful. And if you ain't got no way to fight it, it's impossible to overcome, and it's inevitable that it will overcome you if you can't get away from it. That's fire. So again, it's like I always say, like if we're dealing with a metaphorical angle, then that fire thing is powerful. But again, this thing could be layered. Right? So they could really be facing that fire. And then the spirit is also using that to show them, like, hey, just like this right here, it happened, and this fire and that spirit caused that, this negative energy or whatever other side of the equation of chemistry or whatever caused this fire. And now this fire is stopping you from being able to have your forward motion. That ain't me. I'm not causing that. But that one who you keep succumbing to, look at what he's doing to you. Look at his promise. Look how much he really loves you. What he putting you in. So he says he burns you with fire, seeks to destroy you from off the earth. And that's their seed too. Normally the Most High say you and your seed from off the earth, but he ain't said seed yet, because Adam and Eve ain't had no children yet. Right? Then look at me, oh Adam, oh first man. The Most High saying, now look at me. I created you. Oof. I created you. And how many times have I delivered you out of that evil one's hand? If not, would he not have destroyed you? God said again to Eve, what is it that he promised thee in the garden, saying, at the time you shall eat of the tree, your eyes will be opened, and you shall become like gods, knowing, and that was not like gods possessive, that's plural. So you shall become like gods, knowing good and evil. Okay? But look, he has burnt your body. Hold on, man. Hold on. I just realized something. Knowing good and evil. See, here's the thing. If we never learned the evil, then we just would have been beings that always were in a higher state. And as such, we wouldn't have had these different complexes with who's good, who's bad, and all these different levels of things and all this different stuff and bad decision, good decision, the split of the mind. A lot of this stuff happening on the planet wouldn't even be happening. But we would be in a certain state that would remove us away from our free will. Now, here's the thing about free will. Free will, if you had all positive things, is still free will, right? Like it's still free will. Because you have to understand, from the beginning, they were told, ABC 1, 2, 3, but don't do this over here. You can't. So even there, that's free will because the option was there. They transgressed it. Point in case, they transgressed it. So that shows you right there, they still messed up even from the beginning. Like even when all they had to do was just stay in a higher state and have the free will there, they didn't. So then once they split that state, that beinghood, it automatically became knowledge of evil. But then that's like giving a child that's like point in case. That's like giving a child a gun, a fully loaded, cocked back. It's one in the chamber. They pull the trigger, it's firing. That's like giving a child a gun and telling them to go outside and play. That's crazy. So they got exposed to something that they were not supposed to get exposed to by a being that was already here. That go to show you right there, it was beings around before the human beings. That go to show you right there. So that's just always interesting to me. You should become like gods, knowing good and evil. So soon as they transgress that, see, let's put it here. Let's say if they knew good and evil, but then all of a sudden, here's the other thing. They really don't know the evil that's going to come upon them yet. Their son is going to be how they're going to find that out. Cain. So they don't even know the evil yet. So that's why the Creator told them, don't transgress. Because this ain't even got nothing to do with you. This could be visited on your seed that comes after, and you may not be able to do nothing about it. Cain turned around and struck down his brother and killed him. Why? Because of the transgression. Because soon as the being split the mind, your child now has a chance to come out on something so crazy that if you don't get at them, they're gonna do it. And so thus you have generations of humans doing foul junk all over the planet because of the split mindset and humans thinking that them having the choice to do evil is a choice. You should have never been doing it, human. Half of them is doing it because they think it's popular. Half of them is doing it because it ain't nothing else better to do, but it's in their own head. Like it's not books and money and things to learn out here and get to. They got to be sitting around trying to figure out how to break laws just because they bored. You understand? Immaturity. That's why the first humans were not supposed to know about the decisions yet. I believe they were going to find out after they got taught. But what is it when you have that kid that's teaching your kid at school something foul that they ain't never heard of before? And that's how come as parents, I don't have children, but as parents, you have to be on it. Parents have to be on it. They have to be on every little thing. Why? Because it's always some little snot-nosed, mannish little airhead kid that know way too much because they parents ain't on them, and they're teaching your children foul things before your children have a chance to learn it from you. That's where the first humans jacked up at. And that's where these humans is walking around now be jacked up at. Y'all know I've done this vlog. If you know you've been around, I can't stand King Von. Everything he stood for, I hate it. I hate that that brother had to go through what he went through, but this was a grown man that was a serial killer. Now, the funny thing about this situation is everybody always talks about, oh, he was getting good grades and he was such a good student. And then all of a sudden, even him, when you go listen to his you listen to him talk on video about it, and you listen to other people talk about it, they talk about it. Well, what happened? Well, we moved to this particular place, and then I got around this person, and this person told me about this, and then it was off to the races. Well, here's the thing with that. And like I always say about him, where was his mama? Because see, King Von's daddy died the same way he did. So where was his mother at, teaching him the proper thing? Because his daddy died when he was very young. In a street jacked up, messed up way. So how could she not take what happened to the boy's father and teach him everything, and did everything that she could have did to keep him away from that life? He should have known. And I know that's kind of like a weak example, but there shouldn't have been nobody else that could have came into her child's life that she created and come and trick her son into being the devil that he became. And I'm telling you now, King Von is not nowhere in heaven, dog. He's not nowhere, bro. Where he is going through a lot of destruction. That's where he is. That's where he is. Because once you have consciousness here on this earth, oh, forget about it. Your consciousness continues when you leave. If you think it don't, think again. So I say that to say that's what happened with the early humans. They went to school. They knew, they happy, they got their new school supplies. They excited to learn. And some airhead fifth grader that's really supposed to be in the seventh grade or whatever, first grader, really supposed to be in the fourth grade, but he's still in the first grade, and he's teaching all the first graders that's just coming to the school all sorts of crazy things. That's what happened to the first humans. That's what happened. And so the trajectory has been, now you got to have this trajectory. And throughout times in human history, we gonna be waiting to see them ones who, no matter what decisions they have available to them, they're always getting to the higher, choosing the higher thing, because those are going to be the ones who get to the spiritual power for real. Those are going to be the ones who have the power of prophecy, understanding what's going on, who the spirit is going to speak and move through and bring these things onto the planet with. They're going to be the ones who are going to move things forward with his spirit at the helm, because he's not going to move in no lower vibing being. Period. It's not happening. He's not going to open up doors for lower vibing evil people. They have to make their own way, and they do foul things to do it. And like what I just said, if they don't get it together, then they're going to miss the fact that, hey, your consciousness continues after your last breath here. So while you just thinking that you just doing whatever you want to do, you think you ain't never got caught. You think you won't never get caught. You think you just ain't never gonna get checked. Think again, it's coming for you. in this life or the next, and some got it in this life and the next. That's why people who murder people go out the way that they do. Because you think you just gonna run around here doing what you did and just sit back and act like you just don't care? Oh, we'll take you up out of here. With extreme prejudice too, like, and won't care about how it impacts your family, friends, nobody. I'm gonna keep reading. And this video ended up being longer than what I wanted it to be, but it's all good. Most of my videos is about 45 minutes anyway, and honestly, the longer ones got more retention. So, you know, it's all good. But look, he has burnt your bodies with fire and has made you taste the taste of fire for the taste of the garden. In other words, you traded the fire for the taste of the garden, or you traded the garden for the taste of the fire. And has made you see the burning of fire and the evil thereof and the power it has over you. Your eyes has seen the good he has taken from you, and in truth he has opened your eyes, and you have seen the garden in which you were with me, and you have also seen the evil that has come upon you from Satan. But as to the Godhead, he cannot give it to you, neither fulfill his speech to you. No, he was bitter against you and your seed that will come after you. And the Most High withdrew his word from them. He like, bro, he gonna be on this until we fully cut him out. I think it has to be a certain trajectory. I think it just has to be at a certain point. I think it just has to, a lot of people were probably wondering like, well, what's going on? Like I'm regularly seeing a lot of comments and a lot of different videos about people saying things like, man, you know, what's this life all about? We all here suffering while these people just run around over us doing whatever they want to do, while these victimizers in our community just run around doing whatever they want to do, to the point to where you got to walk around with a certain energy in certain places, because if you don't, they're going to be looking to take advantage of you. That's crazy when you think about it. People to just sit up looking at your state to try and wait and see when they could do something foul to you. Like, who has time to be living life with all that around? And then if you follow the Most High, you're really supposed to be blessing your enemies. So that gets a little difficult, because for me, I just, man, I love the Most High, but sometimes I just be, I'll be having to really rein my fire in heavy, because I'll be ready to just be like, man, God, look, I know you say love the enemies, but they are getting on my nerves with this junk. I'm about to go on some vigilante junk. I'm about to start like catching these people who out here doing foul junk and walking up on them and they not even expected to see it coming. Get rid of them. That's how I be feeling sometimes. I ain't gonna front. And I probably shouldn't say that on the video, but whatever, it's true. That's how I be feeling. Because how dare you take this life and waste it away for yourself first, and then second, you take somebody, an innocent victim, and do foul things to them because you just want to? Man, get out of here, dog. That junk is foul. So that's the end of this video. I prayed and I asked for direction, and this is where it went. So that's where it was supposed to go. And I feel right here to go ahead and I batch record these. So I'm about to go ahead and start the next video, record the next chapter. Peace.